Thank you so much for doing that. It was a quick 10 minutes. Before we jump into this and the next piece, let me ask a question for everybody. Tell me about when you go out and dine at other restaurants, not specifically here, do you feel the level of hospitality has gotten better or has it gotten worse?
Worse.
Why? Why?
Phones.
Say it again?
Phones.
Phones, okay, so we'll talk about phones, that's good. What were you gonna say?
Oh, no, I was swatting a fly around.
Oh, I thought you're gonna be a troublemaker. No, I kid. What were you gonna say? What's made it
It's
worse?
part-time for them, and they don't care about it.
Yeah.
They don't care about their job.
Okay, all right,
That's
fair
how I
enough.
feel.
What else?
Oh, for the money.
Good.
It's the same thing, it's the fact that it's the kids today, it's the kids, it's the work ethic,
Exactly.
they are in it for the part-time
Yeah.
job, it's just money, and now it's
They were trying to rush
it's
Davis
not.
to turn
Years
fast.
ago, we took it as our job, it's our income, it's our main income.
But isn't the diner different too?
It's quick.
Yes. They don't take pride in it, let's put it that way.
The staff?
Exactly.
Okay, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I also think the diner feeds into that a little bit because their issue is the same with phones also.
Rush.
Get Brad.
They don't know how the customer gets in the seat. They don't know
Oh, your staff.
how much work it is to get the customer in the seat.
Okay, so we're gonna talk about that. There's a marketing stat between new business, somebody who's never been here, and somebody that already knows you. It's $1 actually, but go ahead.
But you also have to be able to sense the customer, when they, so how to deal with the customer, who it is sitting in the seat, and how to get them to
So
feel them.
you
and-
can feel when somebody's in a rush, you can
Yeah.
feel when they're leaning back and how to handle them. All right, so that's very, very good. All right, so what I just did is exactly how the rest of this whole program actually goes. You're actually gonna ask the questions that you have on your pieces of paper, and we're gonna answer as a group, and then we'll have ownership fill in, I'll fill in, Rich will fill in from all experiences. Believe me, something great always comes out of all these trainings, and I'm hopefully leaning on it. You're Tiffany. Will you do me a favor? Just ask your first question. It's kind of one that gets everybody thinking a little bit and talking. So go ahead.
Why is Tumblesalts unique, and why do guests want to dine here over other locations?
So why do people want to come here to dine?
We said that, like the atmosphere.
Okay. Well, let's all answer. Then I want you to fill in
Oh.
on what they miss.
Oh.
Okay, Tiff. So why do people come here?
It's different.
Well, yeah, but so you're going to be a little more detailed and different.
Feels like a resort,
Say it again.
it has a resort feel to it.
Okay, that's interesting.
There's nothing like this around, like North Providence.
Yeah, there is.
Nothing, right? I agree. The building draws people in.
It's gorgeous.
It's gorgeous, right?
It's gorgeous.
What do people say to you when they first come in and didn't even know what to expect? What do they say?
It's beautiful, the light fixtures, the interior design, it's beautiful.
Phil, what did you say?
Confused. I'm lost. I feel lost.
That's really interesting. We should address that. So if they're lost, there's probably a little anxiety in them, right? So that's good. We'll touch on that. That's good. What else is key here? What's really interesting about this over the, I heard you mention the fire and a couple other places. Why do people want to come
The
here?
menu.
What about the menu?
First of all, we have breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
All right.
Which makes a lot of,
What's that?
see?
Pawtucket translation.
Yes,
Terrible.
they can come here during the whole day, and it's beautiful. Our menu is amazing. It's very big.
You can go shopping.
It's a
That was good.
That's what I was gonna
we
say.
have by far the best coffee that I've tried in America because it's Ely and it's amazing.
It is. I do
It's
agree
the
with
best
that.
coffee.
Cisco sells coffee. Some of it's prison coffee. Illy's is very good.
No,
Yeah, Illy's is very good.
and they can take it to go, and we know all. We have the right equipment to do any coffee they want.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Perfect.
Yeah,
Because we're accommodating.
But,
too.
yeah, we accommodate
yeah,
whatever
that's
we
good.
want.
Good, good, Phil.
Several different atmospheres.
Yeah, so that's really unique for me. And the thing when I came dining, that's what everybody said. Where do we sit? What do we do? They were really intrigued by all the different atmospheres. So, all right, Tiffany, what did you have?
We had atmosphere, like the fact that they have inside dining and outside dining.
Tiff, that's really good.
We had like the food, you know, there's some stuff on, we have like,
What do you mean food though?
well, we want to specify.
Yeah,
We're
Bruce.
saying like the
The
special.
specials we talked about.
Yeah, the range of.
Range of
Every night,
specials.
different specials.
Okay.
The appetizers, half price,
Okay,
drinks, da-da-da-da.
okay, cool. How do you, I'm gonna jump ahead because you used the word for me. How do we feel about the word specials? We have specials tonight. Good or bad?
Good.
Okay. My dad comes in and you say to him, we have specials tonight. What does my dad think?
What are you trying to get rid of?
Food you're trying to get rid of.
What kind of food? So what's the language? Hold on. Don't go anywhere. Don't.
No,
I'm not going to lose you.
no,
Hold on.
They
No.
do it, no.
There's better words to put in that place than specials. What should it be? Tonight's addition to the menu. Don't say specials.
Featured entree.
Oh, there you go. That's awesome.
That's great.
So just by tweaking, you still have them. Some people believe that specials are being gotten rid of. So again, Bruce, tell me what now. Go.
No, you're right. You're 100% right.
Okay.
Would they do it that way? Absolutely not.
Okay, yeah, that's fine.
You gotta
Well, that was
give
yours. I'm sorry.
you gotta,
Oh, over here.
you would have to give them a piece of paper
Okay.
with the specials on it. For them to go to a table, it's not like years ago. It won't be done. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That's
So,
how
all
I
right, so
feel.
you're saying there's no verbal specials here?
No.
Right, so you're doing everything by a piece of paper.
Right.
I would at least ask, even on that, put tonight's additions to the menus or something along those lines.
That's a good idea.
All right, that's all.
Featured
Featured.
entrees.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's all. And so
That's
that-
good. That's good.
So the word special is what we took out of that.
Right.
And that's what we're trying to do, is just
That's
pull those
much better.
things out. So, all right, go to your next question, Ted.
The next question is, what are the greetings at Tumblesalts, like over the phone? Well, should I just stop?
Just
there?
do one, yeah.
Okay, what are your greetings at Tumblesalts?
So what is the greeting over the phone at Tumblesalts? What are you supposed to do? And what's most important about it?
Good evening, thank you for calling Tumblesalts. This is Tree speaking. How can I help you?
Yes?
Yeah.
Do you say your name?
Yes.
You should be. Why? Why do you say your name? What's the reason for saying your
It
name?
makes it more personal. The other
True.
person feels more comfortable with you when he knows your name.
True?
And it's not too automatic and robotic.
That's very true too. The third thing on top of that, if you ever call a business and you get the person's name on the other side of the phone, they're more likely to follow through because you can now pin them what they did or didn't do, right? Yeah, you can track them down. So by saying your name, you do give confidence. So that was very well said. Very well said. But what is your, so you hit it right on the head, it's worth the ticket for sure. What's the most important thing about that though? I have one. The most important thing about that phone greeting.
I just think like
His answer.
when you're like polite and like you gotta feel welcoming. I don't know the word, but you know, like drag, like you gotta, like the way you answer the phone, there should be some type of like, I can't think of the
You should
word.
smile. They know
Smile.
Smile is a piece of it.
Even though you're on the phone.
That's peaceful again.
Answering the
You
phone
got
is
one
good.
shot to gain
Here's
confidence.
the phone. Not 300
Let me tell you.
You got it too. Phil, that was good. Brad, tell him what he said. What did you say?
Answering the phone is good.
Just answer the phone. Phil, what did you say? Because you're headed right in the right direction.
You have one shot to gain confidence, trust, open them up, warmth.
All right, so let me just dovetail that a little bit is, one of the things I get to do for Cisco, it's a really cool part of my job, is I get to mystery shop. I eat for a living, it is awesome. It's a ton of work, but I do enjoy it very, very much. And the thing that is missed, no matter where I'm going when I mystery shop, I always call for directions, even if I know where I'm going. The thing that is missed, and you did it a little bit, so don't be mad at me. Rate of speed.
Well, I did it for you fast.
I know,
that's
that's
what
what
I'm
I,
saying.
look, she's
So
mad
I'm
at me.
back and roll.
Oh wait, hold on. Is that better?
Yep.
All right, jeez. No, so if somebody speaks really fast on the other end of the phone, what does the guest think?
They're rushing.
They're in a rush. Are they even coming?
No.
So to you, Phil, it was the first time that you've touched that person and you're answering the phone. Hi, Dr. David, well, tell us how I'm help you. People do it all the time. The busier they get, the faster they actually go. It should be the opposite. Awkwardly answer the phone slow. Because the guest, here's your
Guest doesn't
phone.
know what's going on in the restaurant.
Yeah, yep. So, what did you have for an answer?
We just had the same thing. She said, hello, Tumblesalts Cafe. How can I help you? And your name.
Don't be mad at me. All right, next.
Wait, go down the line of these three.
Yep,
like
what's the
over
next one?
phone. The next
Yep.
one is at the hostess station, multiple entrance. What is important about it?
So, you have a really unique setting here. People can come in how many different ways?
8, 7, 7.
Seriously.
No, 7. Huh?
How many different ways is it?
5.
Five.
I love this. This is unbelievable.
Six. Seven, sometimes they try to come in through the kitchen.
So that's really scary to me. That's really scary to me because somebody's lost and you know that their anxiety level is kind of at the high point right then. So first off, what's your greeting at the hostess stand? What is it?
Good morning, good afternoon, how you doing tonight?
Okay? Again, what we see when people are busy, what do they say?
Be right with you.
Either that or even worse.
How
2?
many? How many?
4? Yeah. They don't even do that. They just say 2, 4. I was, swear to God, and it's very close to this location. I won't tell you where I was. It's very close to this location. Went into a place, I was by myself, I was Mr. Shopping, and the girl was 15 yards away. And she went, 1? Which for me is like, hey loser, you're eating by yourself, right? And so, man, this is really, so what do you do now to try to handle all these entrances? I don't even know. What do you do now to handle all these entrances?
Well, we supposedly have training. There's spotters. The service is supposed to be spotters and lift their head up, acknowledge them, but then get them to the right spot.
And is that the right spot now?
That is the
too?
right spot.
Yeah, or if it's, I will tell them, wait for my.
Unless they're
How
elderly.
are you?
You come and get
Well,
me.
yeah, well, I'll just get the hostess for you in a second.
Okay.
And we come.
Yeah. And so, what's most important about, once you get them there, what's really important about that space? What's the most important thing?
We need to be comfortable and.
Yeah, you're close. Stop talking about pace again, too.
When they walk in, you're saying?
Once the hostess has not done the raffle of how many, really said good evening, they really said good evening, you know, what happens next?
They know they're being seated.
We ask
It's
them
coming to help them.
Okay?
They feel secure about that.
So what happens, they walk people to their table, right?
Yes,
What happens with that pace?
slow.
You need to go slow as you can to get people there. Again, when people are busy, we move through a pace that is too much. And you must see it. Somebody takes off walking, and they turn around, and the guest's not even close to them.
Right.
Or you got somebody with the tennis balls at the bottom of the thing,
Yeah.
and you know they're not moving so fast.
When they get lost, which happens quite often because we have 7 entrances, there's a lot of anxiety. So if you're fast talking, fast walking, you're raising the anxiety.
Boy, I'll tell you, spot on. So everything we're trying to do in today's day and age is get people to decompress, especially when they get into these buildings. So that's a really good point. So it's first impression, right?
We have a conversation with them as we're walking, we don't just.
So how do you do that?
We just say, you know, how's your day, what are you planning for today, and
Talk
do
about
something
the
fun.
weather.
Explain all the different
No.
rooms we have. It's all
Tell them
the same
tell them
day.
the specials that we have.
And that's an incredible task to do because you have to keep some open posture, not run into anybody on
No,
your way.
We do it. We
We
do
do
it.
it.
Yeah, that's
We do it.
I'm
Yeah,
saying
we do it.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
I think
We
that's
tell them
great.
the specials, like also, like we had a shrimp
That's
special
awesome.
the other day. I
I
told them
love
all
that.
about the shrimp special.
It's a different place. It's not a normal restaurant. It
Yeah,
really
that's
is.
fine. But most people don't.
No.
They go to the table, head down,
Right.
people behind them.
No.
If you're keeping any kind of open posture, that's incredible. That's absolutely
We
incredible.
talk to them even when they seat them.
We treat them like they're the best friends of ours.
That's
And
awesome.
That's how we
if-
do
and
it.
if they're seating somebody, and all of us will take another party in and seat them somewhere and let them know we said
Awesome.
so-and-so here,
That's
you know,
So
that's.
truly first impression, right? So if it's that hostess area is first impression, it's also what?
The last impression.
Listen, the most important thing you can train your hostess people to do is as people are headed out, what should they say?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes.
They see,
Thank you
how
for
was
coming in.
everything?
That's
Everything.
it.
Yep.
Come see us again.
How was everything?
Exactly.
I don't know yet.
Come back
We always
and
ask
say-
them.
I don't know why, but on the way out, the hostess station is like therapy. Because if something went wrong in the dining room, they don't want to hurt your feelings.
They're gonna go to the hostess, the last person they're gonna see.
It's the last person they see, and she or he is about to save a customer if they said I had a problem. Please ask, how was everything? Because they will open up right there. It's great. What did you have for an answer for that, for hostess here?
We just said to be pleasant and to make sure you greet them.
Okay, next.
Next question is, what is the most comfortable way for you to introduce yourself to a table?
What's the most comfortable way to introduce yourself to a table?
Who wants to do it?
Hmm?
Hi, I'm Joanne, I'll be your server tonight. We have a few specials tonight. You like me?
Not specials.
Well.
Oh! Does she have tickets? Take them back.
We have tickets. We have featured items tonight.
All right, so tell me, rate her. How did she do?
Say it nice and slow.
Slow is key. Yep.
Yeah.
Tell me. Good.
How did she do?
How did she do?
Did great.
She did great. Is there?
I put my big smile on.
Yes, smile first.
Most of the time, she's kind of fake.
Okay.
No,
It's worth a ticket.
Figure out a secret
Go back.
working with
You don't
accent.
just mouth.
Please call Permagran.
Hello, how are you tonight? I'll be your server. My name is Panos. They go, oh, that's very interesting. Where are you from? Then I always have to give them the whole story of how I ended up here. And not my whole
How you
name.
took the ship from Kentucky.
Yeah, exactly.
And then he doesn't have a
Because
green
they always
card.
want to keep talking to me.
Yeah.
They always want to
That's what
know.
probably takes so long.
And,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
What is he doing?
I'm sorry. I know it's shooting.
So
I know it's shooting, but when a customer keeps asking me, I don't want to leave. I just have to stay there.
You have that engagement.
So I love that.
That's great.
Then Bruce is like,
Yeah.
your food is waiting.
So this is one of these things that I heard from a young lady almost 7 years ago at the British Beer Company. She said, I actually don't like to give my name. And we were like, because you would say, give your name, right? Kind of personal. And she said, no, it's too awkward of a time to do it. When somebody first sits down, I welcome them, I smile, I can talk to them about the next drink order. I do all of that. She said, I don't give my name until I come back with the drink order. They're more likely to remember it. And I was like, that's brilliant. So it's more, you drop your drink order, you take your dinner order or an appetizer order, you say, listen, by the way, my name's David, if you need anything else, you let me know. The customer is more likely to remember your name if you do it later, just a couple minutes later in the engagement. So, Bruce, good, I can see your
No,
face.
that's interesting. I never heard of that.
Yep, she said, I do it the second time I go back to the table.
I've never heard of that. That's
Yep.
interesting.
Yeah, and so she also says, I never call myself the server.
Right.
I never say, I'll be your server
I
tonight.
wouldn't say server
I'll be
either.
taking care of you.
That's it.
Exactly.
Yeah, she said that too, so that's
Not a
very.
server.
Yep, so, yeah, that's perfect
Exactly.
language, much more natural language, so well done. What did you have for an answer for that?
We had welcome them and mention your name and that you'll be helping them this evening or afternoon.
Awesome, next.
The next question is, how do you identify new guests and why are new guests important?
So we touched on what new guests mean, but how do you identify a new guest, especially in this building?
They look lost.
They look.
Yeah, that's really, yeah, they do look lost, I'm sure.
My first time
Everybody
here,
that walks in
my
the door
first time here, I don't know where to go.
They volunteering.
Exactly.
Yeah, they volunteer.
So, you're more likely to volunteer in this building probably, so that's good. Do you ask?
Yes, yes.
Do you all ask, really?
Yes.
I do,
So
yeah.
I think that is so important. Well, again, and I'm not suggesting you should do this, but we have a customer, we have a couple of customers that do it now. Everybody gets a white cocktail napkin when they get their drinks dropped off.
Indigo.
Table.
The new person that's never been in the restaurant gets a blue cocktail napkin. Because everybody that now works in the restaurant now knows that that person's never been in the restaurant before.
Can we stick with black, because I don't think we have any blue in stock.
That's if he wants to do it. Black is fine. But they just, anybody that's never been in the restaurant gets a different color cocktail napkin, and the entire staff, the owners, the floor captain, come over and greet, say hello and welcome.
But if he realizes and gets offended,
I've never had
Lately,
anybody
they
get
really
offended by
wouldn't
that.
know.
lately
why?
everything's
You
offending
ask, because
me.
you're asking the table
They
service.
wouldn't know why.
What do you mean?
They
The
wouldn't know why
customer's
they
not
go
gonna know
on.
why they gave a different.
They tell them straight out. First time ever in the restaurant, I want everybody to know this is your first time here, you get a different color cocktail.
No, I don't agree with that.
And so, that's what I'm saying, I'm not saying, never suggesting that you should do it, but what is your strategy to wrap your arms around that new customer? What is it? Get you one.
When someone tells me they're new, we say, well, if you'd like to take a tour, we can give you a tour now, or right after dinner, we will give you
Tour
a
would be
tour.
awesome.
Exactly. We do
Love
that
that.
at least
Either the server
Oh, the other
or
thing's
we
like
could
the
give you a
scarlet
tour.
letter.
12 to 14 times a day that's being done.
Yeah.
A tour through the
Yeah.
restaurant. And that's awesome.
We take them everywhere, and then I take them over to the carousel room
I
and reel them
will-
in for an event.
It's awesome. So, all right, so give me a second. Are you starting to see a lot of repeat customers?
Repeat and a lot of new.
A lot of new.
Both.
So this is why it's important to me. There's a stat in marketing. that for every person who knows this building and knows you guys, it costs $1 to bring them back. Just $1. For everybody that doesn't know you, it costs $10. It's a 10-to-1 ratio to try to bring new people in. So please have a great strategy, like, would you like a tour? I think it's critical.
We always
Yeah,
give tours.
that's awesome.
When I know, I always tell them, can you please give me your feedback after that? If you like the food, or if you had some questions, because that way you feel more personal and more welcoming, that I care about you, you're my new customer. I'm always open to new suggestions.
Yeah.
We're always open.
And so to kind of go along with that is the Not Your Average Joe's, which again is more of a chain like, but they give a $5 coupon for anybody that's never been to the restaurant before to come back. So the next time they come back, they can use that $5. So that, and I'm again not saying you should do that. I'm just saying they have a strategy to always bring somebody back. So well done. Can you answer that? What
Well,
you
we
said?
have to basically say, we said that if they enjoy it, they'll come back, but they'll also tell other people about it.
99% of it here is word of mouth.
Yeah.
99.
So interesting. What's the stat? If somebody has a bad experience, how many people do they tell?
One and one tells one and one tells one.
Thousands.
Thousands.
So it used to be when somebody had a bad experience, they would tell 7. With social media today,
It's
they,
worse.
they could tell 1,000. That goes back to the hostess grabbing that person on the way out, saying how was everything, and her going and grabbing somebody if something was wrong to fix it. So good. All right, your last question.
Our last question is, what are the key things to do, sell, and suggest for our families dining out?
All right, so do you have some families that come?
Mm-hmm.
So what do you do when there's children involved? What do you do to make the children feel comfortable?
We lock them
Maybe
up.
the parents feel comfortable. We lock them up. Put them on the again.
We give them some crayons and
Okay.
which they have the menu on the same
Okay.
piece.
Good.
We suggest some of the kids' foods that we have that might get the kid excited.
Okay.
Especially at breakfast time, we have the little muffins that we put out at breakfast, so give the kids the
Yeah.
muffins, bring them out right away.
Yeah.
You make them feel
You
comfortable.
need to,
I love
Chocolate chip
I
muffins.
absolutely give them a tip. That I love
calm
that.
them down, because if the kids are anxious, then the parents start being excited.
It's funny. We've talked a lot about being anxious and anxiety so far. So that's really we're starting to hear that that's really your job is to get people to relax, right? So
Yeah.
it's really good.
That's supposed to be it.
That's
supposed to
say it.
I don't see it, like, I know people come in, they look for the door, but it's like,
You don't see a group of families come in with a young child and they're all of a sudden the kids
No.
get fidgety.
No.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. Yeah, but that's what I mean. So that's awesome.
We have a lot of fun with the kids when they
Yeah.
come in.
What do you do? What do you do?
It's just to entertain the kids. I talk to the kids all
she
the
does
time.
a lot. She
I
really
do.
does.
If they come in
High
with
five
the
them.
mother and father, you pay attention to the kid.
Yeah.
You know I do.
I
That's
do
good.
too.
Hey, how we doing today, buddy?
He's right on the
How
floor.
we make them go? On the table, let's see what we want. And you make fun. You make
I
fun.
love it.
You
Yeah,
get
it's
the
good.
kids, you hook into the kids, and the parents
Exactly.
are fine.
And the
Yeah.
parents are great about it.
And then we've had some people that not only will lick with muffins,
Oh, yeah, oh, yeah.
their whole strategy is oyster crackers. So if a kid comes in
Yes.
and you need to get something to them right away, a 15-cent package of oyster crackers.
I love that.
Again, they love it. Good. What did you have for an answer for kids?
Oh, well, I don't think we understood that question.
All right, don't worry about it.
We went with family, yeah, we just thought like the people coming in, like, food timing, good service,
Yeah. I don't know if that's of interest. Yeah.
mentioning appetizers, things like that, that's what we went with it.
Can we just clap for Tiffany? She did awesome. Thank you so much. Body language. Who's going to do body language? Will you do body language for me?
Sure.
All right, so she's going to ask a question, and then we're all going to answer, and what we miss, we'll fill in.
What is a Sullivan nod?
Do you all know what the Sullivan nod is?
I definitely don't, because if I technically use that.
Well, before you answer, because you know the answer, I want to talk through it. What do you think it is?
It's like when someone asks about the food and you say like, you start nodding like that.
That is a form of the Sullivan nod. Yeah, that's one of them. It gets people to agree with you. Again, Phil, fill in. What do you think it is?
When you ask how they like their meal, keep your head nodding. In the automobile business, it's called the hinge.
Oh, okay.
Head nodding, positive.
Yeah, so this is, I did it to you guys, and I got you to all answer the way I wanted you to answer. Can anybody tell me when that was? I did the Sullivan nod to all of you. I asked you a
When
question.
you introduce us.
No, I said, has the hospitality industry gotten better or has it gotten worse? And what did you all say?
Got it worse.
Worse.
It's gotten worse. This is so powerful. So let me do it in reverse. Would you like mushrooms with that? What is she gonna say, right? Yeah, absolutely no, right? And it was funny, when you guys were doing it or talking about it, I think you were like this. Which that's really exciting. It's really just that subtle piece. If you want to sell dessert, or you wanted to sell something that you love, and you can do this, we've all had this happen, right? You're at a restaurant, the check is back here.
Terrible.
Yeah, I hate it too because it's close to a butt
Gross.
crack. But they come to the table and, did you want anything else? And you get a little bit of this because they don't actually want you to get dessert because then they can go like this, right? So it gets used in the wrong direction. I promise you the solve knot is very powerful. You can just do a little bit of this table side. Somebody picks your suggestion. Oh, that's great, great call. If you want to sell dessert and you say the word peanut butter, I love
Bring the
peanut
tray
butter.
over before you mention you're gonna bring up, I offer dessert.
You don't
Tray
ask
to
for
the
it,
table.
just bring the tray right to
Yeah.
the table on the mat.
Yeah, of course, of course. I just talk about anything though that you're really trying to sell. That sell the knot will go
Exactly.
a long way.
Exactly.
So, good job. Next question.
What does eye contact promote? Is there a right and a wrong way to make eye contact?
So, what does eye contact promote?
That you're open, you're sincere.
Okay.
When you're trying
there's
to
one
fool,
word that you just
when
kind of
you're
went.
trying to fool people, you look away.
Confidence.
Confidence.
Honesty.
Who said trust? You said trust.
Honesty.
So honesty and trust is really what good eye contact promotes, right? But you got to be a little bit careful because good eye contact gets really creepy really quick, right? It can get creepy so fast. So let's just talk a little bit about how to do it. How do you do it? How do you do proper eye contact? To build trust and to also making sure that you're acknowledging that person.
Well, while they're talking to you, you look at them in the eyes.
Okay.
But you don't want to
you
spend
don't
a
stare
lot
at
of
them.
time staring. So then you will. I usually turn to someone of his company, and look over there for a little bit for a split second, so then I don't get awkward with the other person.
Okay, so in psychology, this is what they say. They say, if somebody's talking to you, you can look at them as long as you need to, because they're actually addressing you. But if you're talking, you should
Yes.
scan the table. So I think that's what you were trying to say. That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right, so let me ask you a question. If there's a man and a woman at the table, and they're on a date, married, whatever it is, who do you keep more eye contact with?
I do the woman.
The man.
So it's 60-40 in the restaurant business. So if I'm a male at a table that has both female and a male, I spend 60% of my time looking at the male and only 40% of the time looking at the female. And it's the opposite for women. You spend a little more time looking at the women, just so it's less comfortable. No, I love it when I can see your face twisting.
No,
I want, no, but Bruce, it's important because and what you're thinking is
Yeah.
what I want to hear.
Yeah.
So tell me what you thought of that.
No, I would do the man too,
Yep,
before the woman,
yep.
because if you keep on going on the woman, guys will get pissed probably.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, but Chris
Don't tell.
is the opposite.
But she's the opposite,
Yeah,
exactly, exactly,
Just
it
to
makes sense.
Just a little bit. I might focus on the man, and every once in a while I'll turn for a little bit in the woman.
Yeah.
That's
That's
all.
it. Yeah.
Like 70-30 or.
I always
70.
focus on the woman.
That's awesome.
And the
That
kids.
makes sense.
Because it makes them more
For
comfortable.
women.
Yeah, it's good. What did you have for an answer for that?
It shows awareness, it can open up dialogue, and make us, obviously, smile. No eye contact means you're not engaged.
Yep.
So it can, obviously, if you're not doing enough eye contact, they're gonna think you're ignoring them, you're not aware of what's going on at the table.
Okay. Good. All right, next question.
Why is a nonverbal check back to the table more important than a verbal check back?
So why is a non-verbal check back more important than a verbal check back to the table? Non-verbal.
So you can scan it and see what they need, maybe?
So what can you see? You're in the right place.
How much they've eaten and if they enjoy it.
Okay. Good.
If there's an issue and you're paying attention, you can spot the issue right away.
Okay.
Where if you go and ask them if everything's okay, they tend to say yes, to not make you uncomfortable, which goes back to the host on leaving.
Yeah.
But if
So
you're nonverbal,
Phil, that's
and
interesting.
You're watching, you can see if they make a face on the food. or
The mouth can lie, but the body can't. Right?
Red.
And so when you're at home and you're done with your meal at your table, what do you do with your plate? Push it away. That's just something that you can see as you're walking by. Get Brett.
This relates a little bit, but when you read body language, the worst thing is they don't have the cheese. They bring out the entree that's gonna require some cheese service.
Okay.
And they don't have a clue where the cheese is. And then they sit and they wait for the cheese to come. And time goes by. So if you know where the cheese is, bring the cheese in, have it ready to go.
So let me just, there's a visual clue that's probably happening for a guest like that. If they're eating, what are they doing over their food? They're leaning over their food if they're eating. If they're done with their meal, they're actually leaning back. If they're stressed, they're at 90 degrees. And that's something that you can tell from anywhere at any part of the restaurant, is if somebody's sitting at 90 degrees, they're stressed.
The only reason why I know that, because I see it on the camera. I see that happen on the camera.
The 90 degrees?
They're 90 degrees, they start looking around, and then they look at the other person, they say, you know, and then the person appears with the cheese, and then you see
They
the
lean
smile,
forward,
you see
yep.
the smile, and they're better. But those seconds or minutes is
You piss them
odd.
off.
Oh, yeah.
But, and it's not.
Because they have hot food.
Yeah.
And now that
Yeah.
hot food is becoming cold food.
So the cheese is very important at that scenario, but to be able to catch anybody that's sitting 90 degrees, something's going on there. Now, they could be fighting with their wife or girlfriend, honestly, I know that, but just being a little more included. All right, so you push your plate away. You know, you see when people take, what do they do with their glass when they need something? Just kind of goes to the edge of the table, right? Let's see, what else? When people take their silverware and put it on the edge of the plate this way, what does that mean?
Save it.
Maybe.
Still
No. If they're on the edge of the plate like this, they're still eating.
Yeah.
He's got it. They're still eating. What if the silverware's crossed?
They're done.
Do you ask or not ask to be clear?
I
ask.
You should always ask when they do that, because people will undo their silverware and try to take a bite. But if there's a napkin over it, so the silverware is crossed, napkin's over it. It's actually a barrier usually so people don't overeat. You can probably scoot that away without even asking, because that there is a barrier.
Now,
Go
here's
ahead.
your question, your opinion. Here's a party of 4.
Yep.
3 are still eating.
Ooh, I love this question.
One is not eating. Napkin's over. Would you take that dish out?
In
Me
a white,
personally, yes, I would.
in a white tablecloth, probably not. But in this setting, I probably would. But I would ask, I would say, can I make some room for you?
Exactly. I mean, she's complete. There's nothing left on this dish. Would you leave it in front of her while the other 3 are still eating, or would you take
It's a
that dish?
great question. Me, I am a speed eater. If you've learned anything about me, I have ADHD, and I can eat really fast. I'm that guy.
Me as a customer, I want that dish away from me.
So what's the question? What do you ask that table? I think it's real simple.
Yeah.
Can I make
Because
some
a
room
lot
for
of
you?
people say, you shouldn't do it, or do everybody.
It's changing.
My opinion is, I don't want it in front of me.
I always
Because
say
he's
that.
having a drink, he wants to
Right.
enjoy his drink, he wants to
he wants
put his
to try.
hands.
Food on the
He wants
Right.
to put his hands.
And so for me, I always, instead of saying, are you done with that? I really say, can I make some room for you? Because they will say yes.
Exactly.
But I think that's an important piece right there. I think it's an important piece. And in this setting, it's always a pre-bus. The more you can get into the kitchen, the better off you actually are. So that's my
Yeah,
opinion
your
about
opinion
that.
on that.
Yeah, I
Thank
think
you.
so. All right, next question.
What are the things you can see that what are the things you can see that the customer may need?
Oh, that's the check
Yeah,
back over.
okay.
So we kind of talked about both of
All
that.
right.
So jump to the next one.
What is more important, telling or listening? Please explain your answer.
My second favorite question. What's more important, telling or listening?
Listening.
Always. It's a psychology thing. When you listen to people, they feel more comfortable, they open up to you.
Okay.
And when they ask, then you.
I want to hear from Brad.
No, I was just gonna say that, don't wait for the customer to tell you that the dish is wrong. The server should know what the dish looks like when they're carrying it, don't carry it.
Yeah.
Don't
So
be
this,
told by the customer that it's wrong.
I asked this question because it's such
What
a.
do you mean? I lost that one. I'm
All right,
sorry.
so
I answered a different
if you're,
question.
yeah.
I joke.
What's more important table side as a server?
I gotcha.
Being a good listener
Yeah.
or being a good teller? Now, let me change that. Being a good listener or being a good storyteller? Which one's more important?
I would say this.
It depends on
I
how
like
long your
both.
story's gonna go on.
Being a good storyteller.
So this is, I love this question because we were all brought up as children to always be good listeners. You probably have the one job and the one sales job that the people in our industry that are dynamic storytellers, and I don't mean long storytellers, like I don't need to know everything you did over the weekend, but when they're great storytellers, those people make more money than anybody else in the restaurant. The dynamic people, and I'm gonna tell you right now, he's not a good listener, he's a great storyteller.
That's right. No, I said it.
Yolanda
Yeah.
doesn't. I was never gonna say that.
We have one here.
I said the
Big
same
love
story
So hold on.
12 times every day.
I'm gonna
the
tell
same thing about the accent and how I'm here. Every day, at least 12 times a day.
And people think it's great.
Yeah, they love me. They're all.
And you're a better storyteller than you are a listener, and that's awesome. Now, I like what you said. What did you say? No, about this question, storytelling or listening. You said,
Both, you have to be able to.
I think
tell
both
them.
are probably pretty equal, but everybody wants to dismiss it right to listening.
Right.
It's not. So what were you gonna say?
If you are a storyteller, you can handle one or two parties, that's it. You have 5 parties, you cannot be a storyteller.
It's a good point.
It's impossible.
So let's ask.
Because I've seen it, I've
so-
seen it.
So here's the question. Should we be doing, does the person that did 2 or 3 tables to the person that did 4 to 5 tables, who makes the same, do they make the same amount of money?
No, no.
Well, if you look at it for a whole week strategy, so if you tell a story on a Monday or Tuesday when it's slow, who cares? That's fine. But on a Friday, Saturday night, chop,
Make it a
chop.
short story.
Chop, 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 Friday, Saturday night.
So this is the reason why I love having the ownership here. Because Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, have some fun, man.
Exactly.
They'll come
That's
back.
what it's
Exactly.
They'll
about.
come back on a
They're gonna
Friday.
know, they're gonna wanna know your name, you're gonna get
I
engaged with them.
understand that, yeah.
And so on a Friday night, it's a little bit different, I do it. Now, it's a tough point because we're talking about decompressing people too. We don't wanna speed them out, but we wanna make them move.
You make them
You
colorful.
say,
Why
I got a
understand
story for
being
you, come back and
storyteller?
see me on Monday night.
Love it, absolutely love it. So-
I mean, I can see a story or whatever, but not a story that's gonna last.
Oh, I know, of course, I understand that, yeah,
I know.
yeah, about my kids, about my kids.
Exactly.
And his new
Thank
sneakers,
you.
I get
Yeah.
it.
Meanwhile, someone's
me-
carrying your food,
Yeah.
busting
Yeah.
your tables,
Exactly.
doing your
Storytelling,
roll.
Exactly.
Storytelling for me is kind
I'm
of
not
what
making
she
no
does.
names
So.
up.
All right, answer that. What did you have for that?
We know what
Both.
You have both?
Both.
Awesome. All right, last question for you.
What are the key things to do? Sell and suggest for a table of women dining out.
All right, we talked about,
What are the key things to do, sell and suggest for a table of women dining out?
so we talked about a family. Now we're gonna talk a little bit about women and what can you do, what shouldn't you do, what's important about a big group of women. It's so funny that we're talking about this and I was goofing off at that table. But, so women,
What for specialty drinks?
okay?
Usually they're about like women's night out, girls' night out.
That's good. That's a good job.
You're complimenting their attires and how beautiful they are. Always.
Yeah, always
It
compliment
goes
them.
a long way.
Always
That's
compliment them.
how it
I think
should
it's
be.
tougher.
Do you do that? Yeah. Does he do that, everybody?
I like your necklace or you're so.
A little
beautiful.
connection with it, yeah, that's
just
good.
He does it to
On,
his coworkers.
on a moderate, on like on a very like.
You're not lying.
But let me ask you a question though. You don't do it like where you're lying. You actually mean it. You see something that's really nice on a
Yeah,
woman.
no, exactly.
You're being genuine, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, that's what makes it okay, right? Yeah.
I suggest some cocktails and everything else, and
You're supposed to find some person.
I'll even talk about
That's what
what's
it's supposed to
new in fashion. If I read a magazine
He
yesterday.
notices things.
You're
He notices
unbelievable.
lipstick.
You come with me to the next training. What, you said women are tougher?
Yeah.
What do you mean by that?
I am.
Like women are tougher on
And
women.
she,
Yes.
Women are tougher
Women have
on
to be
women?
tough on him.
No,
Yeah,
no,
women are-
women
They cut him a break.
Yeah.
they don't want to spend.
No, I don't think
so.
that.
Oh, they don't
If
spend.
I have a good server, a man or a woman, that's great, but if man or a woman, they can be horrible, but for me to have a man waiting on me, it's different.
What were you gonna say? You think it's different?
I didn't
You think
You don't like the way to wait?
I do.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
You don't think they're cheap? All right, so let me ask you a question. So,
We go out a lot. Oh, I want to.
Yeah.
And we like the company, we like people,
Cool.
we always go back.
So,
The way you treat them.
don't get me in trouble.
First time I'm wearing.
People have asked me this question, so I'm gonna ask it back to you. When women are out, I'm talking, more than two, a group of women, 3, 4, 5, 6. Are they on a diet or off a diet?
They're always
They're always on a diet.
Always on.
They're always on a diet.
There's
See,
some
I would
so
say
what
they're
I'm gonna
off.
tell you, isn't a group of 8 women really easy to sell desserts to?
Yeah.
It's
That's
sure.
the one thing that when you go off your diet for.
Yeah,
you know.
get right.
Let me explain what I meant by they don't spend. How much time they're in the restaurant, you don't get the return.
Oh, they're hanging out.
Yeah, it's a long
Yeah,
time,
yeah,
you know, we look during the week, which is fine during the week.
Monday,
It's-
Tuesday, Wednesday,
So
Thursday.
they don't come
Okay.
in,
3
lunch,
hours.
they just go, yeah.
That's a great point.
It's true, which is
You're
fine.
gonna change.
It's fine,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
But that
But
should
now
be
with the
easy to solve.
specials, it's martinis and split flatbreads and, you know, not only are they getting the flatbreads for half
feature
price,
drinks.
now they're splitting them.
Right,
Yeah.
those are the
Yeah.
tables you should be selling pictures of sangria and bottles of wine.
Yeah, that's right. What shouldn't you call a group of women? I hear it all the time when I mystery shop.
Girls.
Guys,
Oh, that's it.
Oh,
I hear it all the time. Hi, guys.
oh,
Who's this
God.
guy?
Oh, they
And
said that.
listen, I hear it
No.
all the time. I hear it all the time. It's a very, it's
I don't
casual.
even, I don't
Should
even
be
like girls.
ladies, should be
Never say
ladies.
girls.
It's
I never
casual
say guys.
vernacular. It's casual vernacular that's slipped in, and I see it said to women or a couple all the time. It shouldn't be that way.
Cringe.
Well, what should you say? What are you going to use? What's that? Ladies. Okay.
Yes.
How about folks?
I
All
thought
right.
All right. That I usually don't. Some people say folks. Some people say not. That's. I'm not sure how I feel about folks, but
It's gentlemen and ladies.
sometimes you don't need to say anything. Just say good evening or something
Mhm.
like that,
Yeah,
right?
have
Yeah.
to.
Sometimes. Yeah. So, all right. Tell me your name again. I forgot.
To be all
Patrice.
No, it's not Stella. I would have. Is it really Stella?
Stella.
Can we clap? Thank you so much for the name Stella.
This is the winner.
All right, so we've got table mechanics.
At what 2 points during the dining experience is the guest more anxious and may need a touch more attention, especially here at Tumblesalts?
At what 2 points do the guests have the most amount of anxiety in this restaurant? It might be different than other restaurants. That's why I kind of put that in. But what do you think it is? You're not allowed to answer yet.
I think
Again,
sit down.
When they get here, to find the table and to find the bathroom.
Bathroom.
all right, so let's go back to new guests. If somebody says we're in the bathrooms, what do you know right away? New guest, right? That's a great thing. That's a great little trick to remember. If somebody asks for the bathroom, you know it's the first time in the restaurant. So yeah, that was good. So what did you have for an answer there?
To know what part of the restaurant they would like to sit, and then knowing the specials and what to offer.
Okay, so those aren't quite there. What did you say for anxious points? Did you say?
I said when they first sit down.
All right, so when a guest
If
gets to
they
the
get the
restaurant.
menu.
So in a general restaurant, and there's going to be a little bit different here, I think, because of how many entrances you have. But in a general restaurant, we always talk about it when they first sit down. And the reason why is they're changing their environment. They're coming from the outside in, from either cold to hot or hot to cold. Their blood pressure changes as soon as they sit and stand. They're in a new environment, even if they've been in a restaurant again. There's a lot of anxiety that the customer doesn't even know is in them. So you've got to be very conscious. I think in this building, people come in and get a little lost. I think that's probably an anxiety level a little bit different. But there's one more anxiety point that the customer knows about.
When they're waiting for the food.
Nope.
Check, please.
Take off when they get here, landing when they put the food down.
So those are all, both of those are very high anxiety points. It's actually waiting for a check. Is the second one. Because you know why? Because when you're done,
You want to leave.
you are.
Well, wait,
No, I
that
think
So
this
again,
is a little
talk
bit-
it.
I think this environment's a little bit different. People tend to camp.
I mean, I feel when people are waiting them to take the check, they're getting aggravated. They
Yeah.
want to get out of here.
Yeah.
And the visa is on top of the card, and no one's acknowledging to take
So
it.
Bruce, that's it.
I
That
see
is
about
it.
that.
Yep, that is it. So you kind of all mentioned some anxiety points. That's great that you know that, so you can pay attention to
I
that.
have one.
Good.
And I see this on the camera a lot. There's 4 people, or there's 5 people, they carry all but one dish. So the people that are sitting there, when the server disappears, they come back and retrieve the other dish, which should be coming out of the kitchen with the rest, hopefully. Don't carry them unless that table is complete. Get a partner to help you carry. Because when you walk out a table of 6 to go get two more dishes, those people all sitting there like this, and their food's getting cold.
All right.
And they're getting aggravated.
Your very
So
next-
get someone to help you. bring all the food out,
But
somebody
what
just
happens
stands
if the
there.
cook forgets one meal?
Then you leave it on the window.
Yeah, let's go. All right, so Brad, let me.
That's another problem.
I had a mention.
But no, but that's another problem.
Yeah.
You know, the
So-
food should come to the window at the same time.
What if the person tells you to go with
A
what
lot
they
of
have on?
times you can't,
Wow,
it is a small
that's
window.
true.
Yeah.
You have a very
You have
good
a
point
party
there.
of 8.
Dave does this all the time. Oh, it's all set. Go, go,
Yeah,
go.
it's
And
not.
he's wrong. He's not even
But
close.
we as
No,
servers
I
can't
know.
say no.
I know, and that's not right.
So
I
They
agree.
do push it a lot.
it's
Kitchen
funny that
does.
you're right here because the next question deals with something like this. What's the next question?
Magic minute?
Yes. What is the magic minute? Because this is what we're really addressing. What was that? All right, so what's the definition of a magic minute? So when you first read that, it could be a magic minute, but what's the definition of a magic minute?
arrive inside there.
That's a magic minute, not the definition.
When they get their food.
Yeah, it's when it happens, not, so the definition of the magic minute is this, and I've never done this, I probably should. One of the other gentlemen that does this class, right, when he gets to this question, before the person asked it, he goes, oh, I got something in the coffee, but hold on, I'll be right back. And he leaves the building. He goes out of the building, and he literally waits for 1 minute. And this whole class is just sitting. It's just sitting. And then he comes back and he goes, oh, I thought I had funny something to show everybody, and I don't, but I'm gonna challenge everybody. If you can guess down to the second on how long I was out of the building, I'll give you a whole roll of tickets. What do people say to him?
That was a magic minute.
5 minutes, yeah, 10 minutes.
1 minute.
3 minutes? It's not 1 minute. 1 minute. 1 minute with nothing in front of the guest feels like.
5-10 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
So that's really the issue we're talking about when you're missing that meal. If there are 3 meals going and already up, and one person sitting with
Oh,
nothing,
I hate that.
that person sitting with nothing, even if it is only a minute, I'm gonna tell you what, it feels like 3 minutes to that person.
I almost felt like putting on the menu that parties at 12, don't expect your food to come out together because it's not gonna. But they sit there and they wait. I just don't, and I yell at the camera, eat, don't wait, because it's not coming. You know what I mean? There's another 5 dishes there.
So when you talk about greeting somebody within a minute, with nothing in front of them, a minute feels like 3 to 5 minutes.
And
so,
that's probably what was good for that girl, that she gets the drink orders and then she goes, and then she comes back and she addresses them because it gives them something to do.
yeah, absolutely, and they're more likely to remember her name. Now, we're not done with the magic minute. To the guest, 1 minute with nothing in front of them feels like 3 to 5 minutes. For you guys working in the restaurant, what does a minute feel like?
Second.
Look at that disparity. Holy shit, you've just got to be careful, okay? Be careful with time. When I'm mystery shopping, nothing makes me crazy when somebody says to me, oh, your meal will be out in a minute. Right? So, all right, what did you have for an answer for magic minute?
I put it when you first go up to the table.
Good. Next.
The check back rule.
What is the check back rule in the restaurant business?
To me, it's 2 minutes to bite.
Okay. That's usually what we hear, 2 minutes and 2 bites. Please don't lock in 2 minutes. Just do the second bite, maybe the third bite.
Right.
Okay?
2 minutes is too long.
Now that you say it and you hear what the magic minute is, 2 minutes really could be 10 minutes, so be
Yeah,
careful.
because steak could not be cooked the way you want it. In the 2 minutes, it's.
So here's a question for the ownership. If a steak comes out to the table, should you be asking the guest, can you make a little cut in that, just to make sure it's done well?
Exactly.
So let's just do
Exactly.
that, okay?
And
So let's
sometimes
just do
people
that.
order things and they really, some people don't know what it is.
They don't know what medium rare is, they think they do, so
Plus, you know, you never know if you're gonna get veal or chicken, so you never know.
Are you sure this is veal? Yeah.
All right,
It's on a yellow plate.
next question.
The 5-foot rule.
All right, number one thing that I talk about, 5-foot rule. This actually came from Dan Rubino, the owner of Muse Tavern. They do no training down there. He does one thing for training, and it's the 5-foot rule. So what do you think it is? You might have it, I saw you.
Anybody within a 5-foot radius, if they need anything, if customer needs anything, you help them, you greet them, anything the customer needs.
That's spot on, give her 2 tickets. Now, here's what he does though, and you all know this already. When I mystery shop and a server is at my table, they always make great eye contact with me. What do they do with their head when they walk away from my table? What do they do with their head when they walk away from my table?
Ignoring the other customers.
It doesn't it dip down? The head dips down so nobody can interrupt them. It's human nature to walk through the restaurant. If you've ever eaten at the Capitol Grill or you go to the Muse Tavern, people at the Capitol Grill have the best posture. Did you ever notice that? They're always, so what it is that they are deploying the 5-foot rule. It's having your neck at 90 degrees. I promise you, if your neck is at 90 degrees and somebody needs something in this restaurant, everybody here will see it and they'll get it like that. This is the piece that raises the service level to a completely different level, is the 5-foot rule. Don't walk through this dining room with your head down. We do it as human nature. And I'm not suggesting anybody's, just if you do that Capitol Grill weird posture, you will see everything that happens in the restaurant. Everything. Number one service rule that you can do. And honestly, I'm not kidding. It's the one thing they
Maybe they don't want to see.
What do you mean?
Well, you know you got another table that's waiting for a check, you know there's some food coming up. Maybe you wanna just put your head down and truck to the window, you don't really wanna see what's around.
You have to though.
So my challenge to that is, if everybody has their heads up, no one will wait for anything in this restaurant.
One night when we first opened, right, we did terrible, but the second night we opened, we worked as a team, and at that time, everybody came in, people were handing each other dishes, people were helping each other, and it was the best night we ever had. You know, but I can see it, if you got 5 tables.
No, but if everybody's taking care of everybody's tables.
But from the customer's point of view, they'll talk to anybody that looks at them.
That's it, that's it, that's it.
Water.
That's
Yeah,
it,
they're not gonna
that's
wait
it.
for whoever.
And so it can be, oh, you need a fork, let me grab it for you, because my head's up and I see it. Or, oh, you need your server, let me go
You know, if
grab
my
it.
mother's sitting there and she wants another cup of decaf, she doesn't care where I get it from. And that's my mother, you know? So it's like,
I promise you, the reason why the Capitol Grill has such great posture is because they deploy the 5-foot rule, and if somebody needs ketchup or a napkin, they get it in that restaurant like that. They get it like that, so. You get it?
That type of restaurant you're talking about,
Yeah.
they are there to make a living. 90%, that's their only job.
Yeah.
And they're making a hell of a pay over
I know.
Over here, it's different. How can I explain?
So
it's a new kitchen, a new car, or a
They're
vacation.
not as committed.
They're not as committed. They have a job.
So this is important, Bruce.
Go ahead, explain it to me.
For me,
Yeah.
if you're watching something happening in the dining room, and the 2 servers that are working upstairs all have the 5-foot rule neck thing at 90 degrees, I promise you, people in that room will get more attention than ever.
If
because of
you can
that.
find that person.
I totally agree, totally agree, totally agree. That's a different issue.
I mean, I was a waiter for 25 years, and
I love
it's
your
not
passion.
like today. It's not like
I
today.
know.
It's
They
a
don't
whole
want to
different
work
generation.
anymore. They don't want to work anymore.
A couple years ago, I went to New York. I went to a restaurant. It was a little Italy. Every waiter was not younger than 60. And let me tell you, it was amazing. It was the best wait staff I ever had in my life.
But is it hard to get people to just have a little bit better posture in their neck up?
Yeah.
They say it's on the table.
Yeah, I think he's right. They look like this.
Exactly.
Yeah, but that's the way though, isn't it?
Well, if you don't look at the table, then you don't have to do anything.
You don't have
But if
to
you
do
look
it,
at
but
the
that's
table,
not-
you might be asked to do something.
But if I'm doing that for your table and you're doing that for my
It
table.
should be
It
teamwork.
should be
Some
teamwork.
No, it should be.
It's a tightrope.
Yeah.
It's a tightrope. You've got a party of 6. You kind of know when food's supposed to come out, so
Yeah.
you're trying to
Yeah,
get
keep
there.
an eye on it, yep.
And then you get hit for ketchup and coffee and this and that. And now push behind there, you get yelled at for not getting the food.
Right, now it's affecting your performance at your table.
So it's
But we
tightrope.
have
So
people
let me-
come in, wait, excuse me one second. We have wait staff comes in, it's like they just got out of bed. There's no energy, there's no spark.
It's not like that.
But that's
They
but it's
just
not-
get out
that's
of
why
We're
we're
gonna have a
gonna-
great night tonight. Let's stock up that, we're gonna be busy. And you get busy, nothing's done, your cheeses ain't done, nothing's done, you run around like a nut.
You don't have an issue with the people in this room.
Yeah.
I can
The
already.
ones that
the
don't
ones
show
I
up.
have,
Yeah,
yeah.
so,
No, I don't.
so I
No,
can
I
only,
don't.
Well, we get
listen,
2
I
tables in,
can't
they
take,
don't know the vegetables.
Right,
I
right.
can't take the entire bell curve.
I wish those people that we need to be here was here.
But this is the
We'll
culture.
put
It's
carrots
not
on
them.
this plate.
This is the culture here.
Yeah.
Bruce,
This is the
culture
culture.
is that everyone's counting money, like what he said before about Capitol Grill. Here, you see, I hear it, I see it a lot. I've been here 6 months. How many new people went through this place?
Yeah.
60.
Yeah.
I'm not
That's
joking.
crazy. I know,
I'm
it's
not
crazy.
joking.
And you have two of the nicest owners on the planet.
Every time I would like train someone in the morning, all I could hear is like, we're not making any money. Oh, we're not making money.
I'll be honest
I
with
don't
you,
care.
that's why the
As
day
a
shift,
person,
the day shift disappeared. The day shift disappeared because the people that work during the
Get
day
to that point.
Yeah.
It's gotta
were
gradually
always
come.
complaining
It's not
about
that
money,
attitude.
were always complaining about everything
I
else.
stayed.
That was one reason.
Because
That was
I
one
knew
reason.
that.
The second reason was when lunch comes or breakfast comes, it all comes at once. So we
Yeah.
had to fix the kitchen so people could cook faster, because it all comes at once. Now hopefully we'll have servers that stay, because they can make more money.
No, it's the new generation like just stops very fast.
No, I hear what you're saying.
They don't have the patience.
So I want to get to the next question, but again, Phil, you wanted to make a point.
When I first started, I used to work in the tavern. Friday and Saturday night, the other server and I would always just split tips. That way here, the whole room was ours.
Yeah,
And
that
it has to
definitely-
be someone that you know is gonna bust their tables, and you're not busting tables, serving all their food, and all that. Trust them. If they're gonna do right, you're gonna do it. And we used to make bank every time.
90% that does not work. 90% that does not work.
So it's not, I mean, it's,
Exactly.
so you,
Exactly.
so this, stuff
I
like
would
this
step
today,
back.
so stuff like this today is to try to move the culture to that, that's all that's what it is. So, Caleb, yeah, go to the next question before we go too far down the rabbit hole. That's probably my fault too, and I love your passion.
What is a table touch and why is it important?
What is a table touch and why is it important? What is a table touch?
Touching a person?
That one.
I got that
No, but
habit.
this is what we.
So, all right, so a table touch in the 70s always used to be when somebody besides the server went to the table. So it was the floor captain, the ownership, and again, I'm not suggesting we do this. The tavern at Granite Links, headed into Boston, the owner, if he's in the building, or the manager, bring the steak knife. Just so there's another table touch. So I'm not suggesting that, but table touch has changed. 5 years ago, I would never ask anybody to touch a table, ever. Now you have
I
to.
do it sometimes.
Why? Why do you do it?
I think it's gonna make it a little more comfortable between it, a little more like intimate. They're gonna feel that I'm there for them. I'm not distant. I don't try to like.
Yeah, you don't do this.
No.
So
So
you-
fingers, with
right.
fingers, just
So this didn't come from me, this came from somebody in this class.
And leading when mostly when someone's speaking a little quiet, I'll do.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's right or wrong. I just.
So in today's day and age, in the last 3 or 4 years, cell phones table side, not for the servers, I'm talking about guests. They're on their cell phone all the time. By doing this, you get their attention like that. I don't know why. You get to, as respectfully as you can, you pierce their personal bubble by doing this. And just, you did it. If you do this, people will put their phone down as soon as you touch the table. You don't know why. Say it again.
I wait.
Did you wait?
Yeah.
Like a stalker?
No, I'm just like,
Yeah.
oh, excuse me. No,
Yeah,
whatever,
yeah,
just
absolutely.
because-
So, a table touch, anytime you get somebody else at the table, but in today's day and age, to get people to focus on you and not their phone, a light touch on the table goes a long way. Kayla, keep going, we're starting to run a little too late.
A little too much late.
At
Yeah.
what level in a glass should you offer a refill and why that level?
All right, so there's scientific from Cornell University that there's a level, a percentage in a glass that you should offer refill. Not at the bar, at a table. What is it, do you know?
Half a glass?
40%.
30%. All right. So again, that goes back to the invisible touch, or you go check back rule. You don't say anything. Does it drink at 30%? They will know if they want another one, and you will have time to get it. So
Would you
30%.
say that, say, would you like another
Absolutely.
glass of wine?
Absolutely.
Why would you say another? See, I don't like that word.
So-
Because now, oh,
So what would you
how
say?
many have I had?
So
I don't like that word.
So what would you
I don't
say?
think it should be said.
Would you like one more?
I wouldn't know. No.
So,
I'm trying to think
Oh,
how
like
I
I
used to
thought-
say it.
I
How I
still
used to say
thirsty?
it, I can't think of what I
I
had.
used to
I
like.
see you enjoyed that one.
You know, that
Are
kind
you all
of
set?
thing.
Stick with the one you want to scotch.
Are you all set with
Another way of saying it instead, would you like another drink?
Refill?
Like what
A
more?
refill or something like
That's
that.
up
I
to
don't
you
like
guys.
that word.
All-
See,
this
that's-
point of this
I
question
never
is
use that word.
30% is when the guest will know that they want another one, and you have a little bit of extra time to go
Right.
get it. Just
Yeah.
30% in the glass. That's
So
all.
I
Now,
don't think
Are
you should
you
make them
ready?
answer
Are you,
a question. I don't think it should be put to the people in front of their spouse, you know, like, really make a big deal of it.
Right.
You know, I like the,
Yeah, see?
you know, I like
yeah, that's fine.
I can
But
use
that's
the
really
word I
important.
used to
Get
use,
you.
but I never use another.
Hold on, let's listen in so we can.
A guy will nod for another.
this is where you get Tourette's.
That's great.
Then when you bring the, or you go to get the glass,
A guy will nod.
Or
I will not.
they say, how's your cocktail?
Yeah.
I'll have another one. That's different. But
Gotta
to say
refresh
that I
that.
get-
Gotta
exactly,
refresh that for
exactly.
Refresh, that's a great way.
Exactly.
All right, so 30% is a table. What is it at a bar? What's the percentages at a bar? Anybody know?
That's
This comes,
disgusting.
and again,
Keep 'em
comes
coming.
right, well,
When the drink's in the bar rail.
no, you know what it is? This comes right from the training manual for Chili's. I don't like that stuff, but this is great. They tell their bartenders to make their customers drink opposite.
What do you mean drink out?
Oh, that's so brilliant.
What do
So
you mean
one
by
of them-
that?
Listen, if you and I are having a cocktail
So
here,
one of
and
them
I don't
would-
have anything in mine,
Yeah.
you've got a full glass,
Yeah.
and the bartender says, would you like me to refresh that? You got a full one.
Yeah.
What am I gonna say?
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Then you
Absolutely
finish,
brilliant.
he still has a full one.
Refresh
So
that.
when he's gonna ask you,
You
he's
use
gonna
that.
ask,
Brilliant.
Use that word.
Can you do
That's it.
that?
We're done. Let's get out of here. All right, we gotta stat time.
Mondo, I just do it myself.
Okay, I'm gonna jump over your last question just to keep going. All right, last one. We'll move through this as fast as we can to get you out.
They're not gonna
We're wrap
understand.
up. Yes, first question.
what has more? what
My
has
favorite
more
question in the
impact-
whole thing.
What has more impact on your gratuity level of service or amount of the check?
Level of service,
Service always.
not amount of check.
You're contradicting yourself, Bruce.
Not amount of check.
You
If
tell
I-
me why people that, wait, hold on. I'm gonna fight you on this one. Look, he's mad at me now.
Give
I'm
him a
gonna fight
ticket.
you. Why? Yeah, I'll give you a ticket. Hold on. It's good. It's good. I love it. That's good. Listen,
You're welcome.
you said to me,
Yeah.
the reason that people work at the Capitol Grill is why?
Because it's their full-time job and they make it a career on
And they make a shitload of money, right?
Yes.
Why? Because their check level is bigger than your breakfast
it.
place.
If I go to Chapel Grill and my bill's 150 and my service sucks, I'm not gonna give you 20% of 150.
What would you give?
If my service
Hold on.
was good,
Love him. He's got so much
no,
passion.
if my service was good, I would give you $40 to $50. If you were
Awesome.
excellent,
That's
I
awesome.
would, I swear to God.
I don't
If it
disagree with
sucks,
that.
you're lucky if you got $10, $12.
So Kayla comes to me
That's
and
how I
says,
feel.
Brad, Caitlin, sorry. You got fired from your job and you say, Dave, you're in front of servers all the time, I need a new job. And I say to you, I have a breakfast place, or I do have a spot at the Capitol Grill. Where would you want to go work for more money?
Capital Grill.
Why?
There's a reputation.
Because the
Because
money
the
is
check-
pricey, the check is gonna be more.
So, all right, so I love this fight.
Right.
I gotta bring this back, Bruce. I gotta bring this back.
Just say
All right?
service, you know.
So I would say it's very close, service and amount of the check, very close. But I'm gonna tell you, the question is very specifically written, your income. When you have more on a check, even if I'm a cheap bastard and I only tip 10%, 10% of $100, 10% of $150 is more. Please get the message here. We're here to talk about service, but your income is more predicated on the amount of the check. On the majority of the people, maybe not Bruce.
No,
On the
But
majority.
can't you say that your service influences the amount
Absolutely.
that you check?
Yeah.
So
Yep, absolutely.
your service also
Well,
influences
Patrice
if they
recognized
stay
a
to want
table
to
this
have
Sunday.
if they
We
want
sold
to,
them
if
$183
your
at
service
breakfast.
isn't good, they're not gonna wanna be around.
Yeah, I know
And
you
so-
can't sell $183 breakfast all the time,
But
but
she made more on
she did a
that.
good job.
She made
Right.
more on that because the check was so
But
high. But I
I
love
got
this
one more
argument.
thing to say, I really
Go,
do.
Bruce.
Many years ago, I worked at a five-star restaurant. And I worked at a fast-paced family restaurant, half pounds of pasta, pounds of pasta. The money that I made at that place could never compare with the money I made at a five-star restaurant. So, to me, I don't go by check.
and the percentage
Because-
wise, like, go ahead, I'm sorry.
Because the five-star restaurant, you only have 3 tables, maybe 2 tables. If you're very if you have like a lot of the energy and you're hyper, you can do a family restaurant with 6 tables, you enjoy it, you're getting into it, and I can make 3 times the amount that I did at my.
We have to come to a resolution.
Okay, go ahead,
Let's
that's
say
it, I'm done.
Let's say it's
I'm
50-50.
done.
You do agree that your income is predicated on not only the service level,
Yes.
getting more onto the check.
Right.
Yes, yes.
All right, so we're good there.
If the service is good.
Yeah, all right,
But
next
that's what
question.
we're saying. We're saying kind of works hand in hand now, because if the
How do
service
you
is good,
get your
people want to
guests
stay.
to buy your suggestions?
How do you get guests to buy your suggestions? What was the giggle for?
Tell them what you like.
Second best way to sell in this restaurant is to tell people what you like. They call it sell on credibility. There's 2 ways to sell on credibility, and you hit it right out of the park.
Customer feedback.
That's the #1 way. So let me finish with her first.
Oh, sorry, sorry.
That was awesome. You did. You're both right there. The easiest way to sell expensive things in this restaurant is to #1, the things that I love. If I love it, and I really do love it, selling it is easy. And I also did this. I put my hand over my heart because they call that a pledge of honesty. So if you want to say something, oh my God, the peanut butter pie is incredible. Do you do it? Do you do all? Give her.
Yes, it does, actually, yeah.
So that. Anytime you want to calm somebody down by putting your hand over your heart, you will actually help to calm them down. This is very impactful by putting your hand over your heart and saying, oh my God, it's my favorite thing in the restaurant.
I do
Or, yeah, I know it, and it's very powerful. Now you can use it as a strategy. Even more, I'm so sorry you had a bad experience, let me get Brad the owner. Same thing, it just gives you some honesty by putting your hand over your heart. So, yeah, and then, what did you say? You said?
Customers' feedback.
All right, so what do you mean by that?
I always say, if I haven't tried it, I play with both of them. If I've actually tried it, I say, I've tried it, I loved it, and every customer that gets it likes it and loves it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'll play my honesty,
Yes.
spending the customer feels better, and I'm like, I'm sorry, I haven't tried it, but I sell 15 John Waynes every day.
Yeah.
Everyone's loved it. I told you,
So,
that's what.
you guys hit it right out of the park. To not be pushy, if you tell people and you're honest about it, that it's your favorite and what you're known for, you can
Yeah.
sell anything on this menu, anything. So that's very well said. Next question. I know we're getting late. I want to reach out.
Why do you mention special and drinks by name?
Why do you mention by their name? We've all had servers come to our table at a restaurant and say, dessert coffee tonight? Is that good? So,
Would you like to try our pumpkin
So,
pie? Or
if you mention chocolate around my wife, if you mention peanut butter around my daughter, if you mention bacon around me, by using the words, it goes a long way. Please, at dessert, don't say, would you like dessert or coffee? Which do you sell first? What do you sell first, dessert or coffee?
We sell coffee first. Right?
Why dessert?
Because they'll probably get coffee to go with it.
So that's the strategy. So think about it, right? If I say no to coffee, and you said to hey David, would you like coffee first? If I said no to coffee, what are the chances I'm going to get a dessert?
You're not.
Not. But if I say, hey, would you like the peanut butter pie? What comes automatically?
Coffee.
Don't ever say coffee. Get good at selling desserts. Just get good at using the dessert by its name, and the coffee will come out. Now, it doesn't mean you don't say cappuccino or
Right.
sambuca
Espresso.
shot. That's fine. But it's dessert first as a strategy. So, good. Next. Go to the next one. There's one more on here that I really want to touch, and then we'll reach out.
What is the vacation mentality when people dine out?
So, I'm going to help his accents. His accent. What is the vacation mentality when people dine out? This is a really, really important piece to this.
They take their time, they're slow on it. They like to take their time.
They
Okay?
usually spend more because they're on
Bruce, if
vacation.
you're on vacation, you can say it. You got
They
it.
spend more because they're on vacation.
So, if I'm on vacation, right, and my wife wants a tenderloin, what do I say to her?
Go for it.
Dude, you're on vacation, right? Well, you're not near the ocean, you're not at a vacation place. The vacation mentality takes place in this restaurant all the time. And I want you to learn when it is. What happens at about, maybe here, 3:30 to 5 o'clock on a Friday?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I gotta put the, nothing. You're not helping Brad now.
Here goes his humor
The
again.
vacation mentality kicks in between 3:30 and maybe 6 on a Friday.
of the week.
You're gonna put the week behind you and you have the most amount of money in your checking account all week. that is a wonderful time to celebrate. I had a girl say to me from a restaurant not too far from here, she said, you know when the vacation mentality takes place? I look at my calendar and I find every Monday holiday, and I always work the Sunday night before, because everybody wants to party on that night because they have the next night off. And I was like, that is absolutely brilliant. People celebrating birthday, graduations. That vacation mentality, prey on it, because you have an opportunity to sell more when people are relaxed and wanting to party.
You know how many times on a Friday afternoon you have people sitting outside between 3, 5, and 6 or whatever, they go out, sit on the deck outside or outside in the patio, and they're drinking up a storm. Mostly ladies, I gotta say it, I've had parties out there.
That's because the vacation mentality is running, so that was awesome. All right, I'm gonna do the last little thing and then get out. Thank you so much for speaking up, you guys. We had a small group, so we didn't do the fifth one. I'm gonna just do the really, why would Tumblesalts lose a customer? Why would you lose a customer here? I actually have the list.
Because of the food.
Food?
And the service.
That's service.
So let me read it, and so, why do restaurants lose guests? This is from the prior report, honestly from the 90s, but it's still very true. At only 1%, it's because they die. It's true, but at 3% they move away, at 5% they're influenced by friends, at 9% they're lured away by the competition. That's that $10 to $1 stat. At only 14%, it's dissatisfied with the product. Only 14%. At 68%, the reason why this restaurant would lose a guest, turned away by the attitude of an employee. That's unbelievable. If there's anything you do, just post that. That's just great for people to see, okay? What's the most craved dessert in the world?
Chocolate.
Cheesecake.
Second. Cheesecake is second, chocolate is cheesecake second, right? Yeah. Chocolate is number one. If you're gonna sell something tableside, start with chocolate. That's an emotional word for people. I'm gonna finish. That's it. All right. Thank you so much. I went over. I wanted to let the dynamic get going. I don't want to get Bruce too mad at me because he is so he was awesome. I do want to raffle this. Thank you so much. I hope you all took something away from this. You guys really.